Y'all, I've recently been interviewing a ton of people, and there's a couple of common themes that are coming up of what not to do in an interview. So I thought I would share them with you today. So this video is going to be 4 things that I keep seeing in interviews that are mistakes you don't want to make. Now, before we get into them, be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, hit the notification bell so you know when new videos come out, and if you like these interview tips, give this one a thumbs up so I know to keep making them, okay? I am Cassandra, and I help motivated professionals build their careers and businesses through practical tips to gain career confidence. So let's get into it. All right, so the first one's real practical and is going to sound really obvious. Don't chew gum. Don't chew gum or suck on a cough drop or a breath mint in an interview. It sounds so obvious, but someone last week chewed gum through the whole interview, and oh, hey y'all, did you know Teddy's sitting next to me? The jig is up. He decided to move, so you got to see him. Okay, so this person chewed gum the whole time, and it was really, really obnoxious. It's just super distracting. It's frankly just rude in general. He was chewing with his mouth open, and it just gives off a quality of like, I don't know, it's something I'm doing today. I don't really care. So make sure you are not chewing gum, sucking on a breath mint, any of those sorts of things. Deal with that outside before you come in. Okay, number 2, don't ramble on and on. You want to make sure your answers are clear and that you give the perfect amount of details, just what needs to be said so that they can understand the story. But you don't need to ramble forever. Be confident that what you've said is enough and you can stop talking. With this too, this is why it's great to practice so that you can start to figure out like, oh, I didn't need to give that much backstory, or I didn't need to give that many details of where this incident took place. So the more you practice, the more you can figure out what's necessary to give really clear, non-rambling answers. And this is where the STAR method comes in really handy because it'll walk you right through it. So to make sure you're giving all the pieces and not too much. So if you need help with that, I'll put a card to it right here, and I'll try and link it in the description box below as well so that you can go watch that video to figure out how to really formulate those answers well. Okay, number 3, don't talk about what you want instead of answering the question. So a couple of times we have asked interview questions and the person has said, well, first I'd like to tell you about blah, blah, blah. No, if we wanted to know about blah, 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 we would have asked you about it. And maybe we're going to ask you about it later. And now you've already given us the answer. So just answer the question at hand and answer it clearly and just that question. Don't try and surmise or suppose from it, oh, I bet they're asking this because they really want to know this other thing. Just directly answer what they said. So if they want to know why you're interested in the company, tell them why you're interested in the company, not about what a hard worker you are and how you'll do the best job. That's an answer for a different thing. It sounds really obvious, but you'll be surprised when you practice how easy it is to go off track and start talking about what you want instead of what they wanted. So make sure you're focused on answering their question. Okay, last, don't use the questions at the end simply as a way to talk more about yourself and why you should get the job or to add more information. So you know you have to have questions at the end of the interview. If you didn't and you need help with those, I have a card on that as well. You need to ask questions. But when they give their answer, don't use that as a time to go, oh yeah, I see that as well. In fact, I did this thing, or my opinion on that is blah, blah, blah. Or, oh, you need someone with that culture. Well, I'm very much a culture fit for these reasons. They didn't ask. You don't need to add to it. You can add something back and respond to them, but do it in a very succinct way and just in agreement, not as a way to puff yourself up and talk on and on about what you do that addresses that question. You're the one who asked the question. You don't need to answer it for yourself. You asked it because you genuinely want to hear their answer, okay? So I hope these tips have been helpful and that you can avoid these pitfalls in your next interview. Like I said, practice at home to see if you accidentally are doing some of these and you can remedy it now instead of make the mistakes in the interview. But hopefully listening will keep you from making them at all. If you need more interview tips, I have a whole playlist for you up here, and down here is a video made just for you. So keep on watching and I will see you in the next one. Bye.